Hi everyone, I'm coming to you from my bedroom today, and you can see that my kids are with us today. That's Malena, Tanner is over there, and then Chio, my other dog, Hadokshan, is actually on the pillows sleeping. So I'm actually at my home in the province where I will be staying up until I'm being called back to the studio. And while I'm here, I might as well do some videos. And today, I'm going to be talking about one of my most favorite makeup products, and it is the Meteorites from Guerlain. Now, I first used this back in 2008. My best friend Nat, who works as a makeup artist in New York, gave me my first Guerlain Meteorites experience. Now, I used that I think between 2007 and 2012, and then right after that I stopped using it. Not be- Well, for a variety of reasons. One mainly is because the matte look suddenly took off. I had to scale back and I didn't purchase any of the Guerlain products because it would go to waste. Nobody liked the dewy look back then. And all of a sudden, sometime in 2017, 2018, the dewy look started to pick up again. And that's when I started to go back and loving these products. I had an idea that I wanted to create a video like this mainly because I posted a picture on my Instagram page, a photo of the meteorites, and I get private messages from my friends and they go like, what was that makeup thing that you just posted? What is it for? How is it made? Things like that. So there were many questions that I got, and I just like to talk about some of them. So one of the main questions that I get when I either open this and put on my table or when my friends see me use this is, what is that? So Guerlain Meteorites is actually what we call a finishing powder. So this is not a setting powder. This is what I use after I put on makeup on the face and I find that it's too matte, it's too powdery, there's no glow. So I add some of this on top of everything just to bring the glow back. Please do take note that these are not highlighters, although you can use it as such, but it does not have as much coverage as highlighters. This is just a finishing product. All it does, it brings back the glow to your skin. Now, my good friend Neil, who's from Singapore, when I showed him this, he goes like, "Oh, like what's that?" And I go like, "Oh, this is finishing powders from Guerlain." And then when I opened the tub and I showed him what's inside, he quickly asked me, "Oh my God, how do you use that and how were they made?" So even I asked myself those questions before when I first saw this back in 2008. And there is not really much information that I can get about it on the internet. But I do understand, based on my readings before, is that when this was made in 1987, so it goes back that far, that the ingredients to make this product is actually placed inside a mixing bowl that rotates at a certain speed. As the ingredients start rolling inside the mixer, they suddenly form into even balls. So when I read that entry, the first thing that came into my mind is that, oh, they're very similar to how jawbreakers are made. So if you just go to YouTube, if you just search for how jawbreakers are made, I think that's how these meteorites are also made. Now that I said that, I do hope that Guerlain will create like a nice documentary about this very iconic makeup product because it's been around since 1987 and it's a very iconic look. When people see it for the first time, the image of it remains in your memory, and it's just a very iconic product. So, like for me, I'm very interested on how they are made, what inspired them to be made this way, what inspired the pearls to be made. Like, I mean, I just want to know what was happening inside the brain of the guy who made this his brainchild. Now, how are they used? Now, it's very simple. So I'm gonna flip my camera over because I want to demonstrate something based on how I understand how these powders actually work. So before I talk about how they are used, this is how the permanent collection Guerlain Meteorites look like. They come in a silver tin, which has the Guerlain emblem at the top. And it comes with this scallop-like design. Now, I'm not sure if this is a representation of a flower or of a violet because Guerlain Meteorites are known for their violet scent. And I don't know if it's also a play on the shape of a bee, because to me, if I look at it, I can see a bee in the shape. And also the sides here are embossed with this like scallop design, which I could also see on the bee bottle perfume design. So I think this echoes from that, and that bee bottle actually echoes from the column at Place Vendôme in Paris. And they all come in a pink box like this. And on the side, you can see some descriptions, and also on the other side, you can see the ingredients that makes up one tub of Guerlain Meteorites. So in front of me, I have 3 different kinds of Guerlain Meteorites because they come in 4 variants. Now, I don't have the other variant, which is the white pearls, because it's just too white and I won't be able to use that with the majority of my clientele here in Metro Manila. But I'm gonna get this first. I'm going to put this aside. So this is the Claire Guerlain Meteorite. So as you can see here, we can see that there are different colored pearls inside. Now, if you read on the Guerlain website, and if you watch some videos on Guerlain Meteorites, you can read or you can hear people talk about them and saying that these are actually color correcting pearls. Now, for me, that's actually true to a certain extent, but to me, all of these colors is actually what creates a beige powder. Now, let me further demonstrate that. Okay, so I actually do have a little bit of some painting background because I do have a bachelor's degree in fine arts, although I don't think that my art is that fine. But I did pick up a few tips from painting while I was doing that. So that's what I'm going to do today, to show you how these colors in the tub actually create a beige colored powder. So I'm going to try to recreate the colors that I see here. So first, let's start with this mauve color. So mauve is a mix of blue and red. So let's get some blue. Okay, let's move this aside. And let's add that here. So that should be enough. And now let's pick up some red. So this is my old rainbow color palette from Crayolan, by the way. So I use that when I make certain special effects. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to mix these colors together, because red and blue creates a nice violet or purplish color. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it properly or if it registers well on camera, but it has now turned into a nice purple shade. Okay, so the color here is on the tub is a little bit lighter. So what we're going to do is we're going to add white to this. So I'm adding the white. And now I'm just gonna mix everything. Okay, so I'm not actually gonna match this color on the tub, but this is just a representation. Okay, so that's light enough for me. Wait, let me mix it some more. Okay, let me put a tissue here because I don't want to stain my double T linen. So now we have a nice light mauve color here. So the other color that I see on the tub is a nice pink. So let's recreate that. So let's get some red. And let's add it here. And since that's pink, we have to lighten this, and we're going to add some white to it. And let's mix that together. I'm going to add just a little bit more, just to lighten it further. Okay, so we have pink. Oh no, it's starting to rain. I hope you guys are going to enjoy that ambient sound of the rain that is going on right now. So what other colors that we see here? We have this nice green color. Well, actually it's not green, it's not blue, but to me it's like cyan. So that's like a combination of some blue and green. So let's create that. Here's some green. Let's add some blue. And let's mix that together. Okay, let's lighten that up by adding some white. Okay, another color that we see here is yellow. So let's pick up some yellow. And of course, we have white. So let's pick that up and put it here. So as I said earlier, it is like marketed as like a color correcting powder. So mauve is supposed to help you against sallowness. Red is to brighten the skin. Yellow, actually this yellow is a little bit golden. It has some shimmer in it, so it helps give warmth to the skin. And then this white here actually also has some shimmer on it, so it actually helps you to highlight the skin. And then the cyan color that we have here helps with the redness that happens in your skin. But to me, this is where my art background comes into play. So actually, what you can see here is that these are all complementary colors. So if you pick up some of this purple or mauve color, and you start mixing in some of this yellow, it starts to become a very brown, neutral shade. Okay? So that's what happens when you mix two complementary colors together. So the more yellow you have, the brighter it becomes. Okay, now if we're going to mix this pink color together with that, with this green, this also creates a brown color, a neutral brown color, because the warmth of the yellow and the red, once mixed with the cool colors that is mauve and green, becomes a beigey brown color. Now, if you mix white into that, it starts to lighten like this. And when you mix that all together, you get a nice neutral beigey color. Okay, now in painting, we have this color called burnt umber. So this is actually the basis of how skin tone is made. If you mix in blues, reds, greens, yellows, whites, and this nice brown color, this can actually help you create a variety of different colors of skin tone. So since this burnt umber, if I pick up a little bit of this color and add it to this base color that we have mixed here together, it actually becomes a darker shade. And now if we add more to the mixture, we get an even darker shade, as you can see here. Now, my point being is that I have three variants of Guerlain Meteorites here with me. This is Claire. This is medium. And this is Torre or golden. So as you can see here, based on what I did earlier when I was mixing the colors, I started with the colors that you see here, like a mauve, green, red, a yellow, and a white. And we had like a nice, very light beigey color. And then when I started to add more of that brown, I ended up with a darker shade. And as you can see here, there's actually more brown and beigey colors in the tin. And when I wanted to create a much more darker color earlier, I added more brown. Hence, that also goes the same for the Torre tub because it has more brown and bronze colors in them. So that's actually how it works. Now, the other thing that you have to note is that when we see the foam here in front of us, we can actually see that these powders are actually very pink in base, which means that these powders are actually used to brighten the skin. This is what they do. Hence, they are called finishing powders because they bring back the glow to the skin. Okay, so I've flipped my camera back, and before I started filming, I just added some matte foundation and blush to my face just so that I can show you guys how I use it. So this half of my face, I have nothing on. And on this side, I have some foundation, a matte foundation, and a long-wearing gel blush. And hopefully, the camera will be able to pick up the glow that this product returns to my skin. Now, as you've seen earlier, I have 3 variants. I have the Claire, I have the medium, and I have the Torre or the golden. Now, I'm not going to use the Claire Meteorites because it's too light for my skin tone. So, I'm going to use the Torre, which is this color. The crickets are coming out. How fantastic is that? Now, I actually prefer using a nice fluffy brush for this. This is a large Yachio brush from Hakuhodo. And all I do is that I swirl. You can see the product kicking up the brush onto the pearls. And I just gently buff it all over my skin. Now, if you want to do this the Guerlain way, Guerlain says that all you have to do is to create a letter G on the face. So you start at the temples, bring it down on the high points of the cheeks, onto the nose, and bring it down onto your cupid's bow and onto your chin. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can actually see that the glow is starting to get back onto my skin. Okay, now I'm going to be using the Torre Meteorites. Now, I actually like using this when I want to create depth on the cheekbones without using a very intense bronzer or a contour powder. I just want it to look very soft and defocused. So I actually use this and I layer it at the area where I place the brush and normally where I put the contours. So as you can see, it's giving me a very soft, focused look. Now I'm going to highlight some parts of my skin. I'm going to use the Claire for this. So I'm going to get a nice S113 brush from Hakuhodo, and I'm just again going to swirl it on the product, and I'm going to be very careful where I apply it. So maybe here on my brow bone, and if I so want, on my eyelids, and on the high points of my cheeks. The Guerlain Meteorites might not work on all skin types because it's a very, very limited range. Even their foundations, it's only very recent that they expanded their range. But for the Meteorites, they only have 4. And the number one, I forgot the name, the white pearls is only available here in Asia, I think, but I don't have that. Maybe I'm gonna go and get one, but maybe not at this time when I start working again. So just for the sake of having them in my collection. So this is how it looks like on my face. It's very soft focused look. It looks very glowy without the overly shimmer effect of a highlighter. And I really like using this, especially when I just want to, bring back the glow to the skin or giving the skin a nice lit from within look. This is a very nice product to use. Now, do take note that when I put foundation earlier, it was a matte foundation, and then I didn't use any concealer, and I just used some gel blush, and this really helped to lift my complexion altogether. So I really like how it looks. One other thing, although that this is scented, the scent doesn't actually linger on my skin, so it dissipates eventually. I don't smell it anymore. But the impact of the perfume on the powder is experienced when you brush over your skin. So I think it helps put you in a mood. Like, it makes you feel very elegant and refined and luxurious and gorgeous. And that's also one of the reasons why I like having this in my kit, because especially when I'm working with brides, it really puts them in a nice mood. So I like having them in my kit all the time. If you are allergic to any scents in your makeup, then just be very careful with this. I suggest that you try out with a tester first, or you purchase like the travel sizes, because it pays to check first that if you use this on your skin, you wouldn't break out because of it. Now, I do want to share with you guys a little bit of the collections that I have. Now, it's a very small collection, so aside from the three, I have 3 more, I think, or is it 4 more? I have 3 more, and I would like to show you guys the other products that I have from Guerlain. Remember when I said earlier that my best friend gave me Guerlain Meteorites back in 2007, 2008? This is actually it. So back then, this was called Mythic. Now, the main difference is that before, this was a cardboard box, and right now, it's made out of tin. Now, the other thing also that I can say with the packaging is I do love how colorful it looks like. I mean, it reflects all the colors of the pearls that's inside this product. Now, the main difference between the new packaging and the old packaging is that the tub is actually covered entirely by this thing, and the thing that I didn't like about this is that when you press it to close it, it actually presses all the air out. So before, when this was full of product, when I pressed it before, like, the powder will start like flying out from the case, and it was a little bit messy, so it didn't really travel very well. And the other thing before also, the sponge was like a velour puff, and as you can see here, it's still the same color, still a mauve, still the pink, the yellows, and the cyan. And I'm just so scared that it might spill, but you can see that you have a very nice light beige powder in it. So this only works for very, very light skin. So since then, Guerlain has actually repackaged, renamed, and reformulated their Guerlain Meteorites. So before, this was known as Mythic, it became Teinte de Rose, and then eventually it became Claire. One other thing, back in 2007, this was 33 grams. I don't know if you can see it here. And now it's only 25 grams. Now, I don't know if this had something to do with the reformulation, because I do see that there was not a significant change, but there was a change in the formulation and how the ingredients were listed. And maybe that might be it. So they're trying to keep the price at the same range, but decrease the number of grams of product in a tub. Oh, I forgot to mention that the Guerlain powders are designed to last for 5 years. So I've started using this in 2007, 2008, and I stopped using this in 2012. And I have to say that even though I didn't use this on a daily basis for work, I have to say that I still have a lot of pearls left in the tub. So just do take note of that. That one tub can last you a lifetime, I think. I also have this Guerlain by Emilio Pucci Meteorites. Now, I do love this packaging. This was released in 2007, and when you open the box, you can actually see the Pucci prints inside, and I love the Pucci box. Now, it's still made of cardboard, and I love the silver and the pinks all together, and some of the cyan colors and the beige colors. I do love it. The cover is still a slip-on cover, and then you still have the velour puff. And if you see it here, you still have the same base color of the meteorites, and then you have some of this like wine-colored pearls and some of the apricot-colored pearls inside. It's really, really pretty. Like, there was a time I used this for work. I mean, it applied very well onto the skin, but I could only use it for very, very pale skin tones, because if I used it on warmer skin tones or someone who's darker, it can look ashy. So that's one thing that you have to be very careful with some of these meteorite products. And I stopped using it mainly because I just wanted to collect it. I just wanted it to be like on my shelf inside the house and to keep it for posterity's sake. I think around 2008, 2009, my best friend Nat gave me this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful limited edition Guerlain Meteorites. It was called the Terracotta Summer Stones. I blogged about it some time ago. I'm gonna put a link down to that blog, and I still have some of it here, but I transferred it to a different case and I labeled it because the case actually cracked. Now, I have to say, guys, that this is one of the best finishing bronzing powders that I have ever used in my life. It came to the point that I was so surprised that this was a limited edition that I had to email Guerlain and tell them to bring back this product because I really, 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 really loved this product. So as you can see here, it has nice bronze colors, copper colors. It has a nice white gold color, and it also has a nice gold copper shimmer. Oh my, I can't describe how much I like this, but it bears repeating. I loved this product. Now I stopped using this because I was so scared that I'm gonna run out of it, and I don't want to lose the color that we have here. Now I don't know if over the years that I've stopped purchasing their products, they reincarnated this into a different kind of meteorites, but I have to say that this limited edition Terracotta Summer Stones was one of the best I have ever seen from their meteorites range. So back in 2012, Nat gave me this Guerlain by Emilia Pucci Meteorites Pearl de Jour, and just like the Guerlain by Emilia Pucci Meteorites, when you open this, you see the wonderful, wonderful Pucci print inside the packaging. Now I was so surprised when I got this out of the box because it was now in a tin form. Now I love the blue packaging and the green. It's very nice, very, very Pucci. Now one of the things that I didn't like about this collection is that I didn't like that it had a white sponge in it. So now you can see that it's a sponge. It's not a velour puff anymore. And when you look at the pearls, it's very, very silvery. Now, when I first tried using this, my other dogs are going crazy at the at the other lot. So, but anyway, now the thing with these pearls is that it was actually a very dull color scheme. Like I can see that there's some blues here, and then there's just too much of the silver color that I think I have a picture that when the powders got mixed together, it created a very dulling color, a very ashy kind of color. I tried using this. I tried loving this product, by the way. I used it like maybe for over 2 months, but it just created a dull sheen on the face and I stopped using it, which was a disappointment. But now if this was a concept and if it was created to counteract the redness on the skin because you got sunburned too much by swimming in the Mediterranean, then this would be a nice powder to use just to neutralize the skin, but it just made the skin too ashy. So that was the last meteorites that I bought in 2012, and then it was only back in 2019 that I started to get enamored with them again. And I'm actually like kicking myself on the shin because I've passed over some very, very beautiful collections. But I don't know if I said it earlier, but you know, sometimes here in the Philippines, at that time, it was very difficult to get products because the merchandisers don't carry them, or mainly because shipping is just very difficult. And there are only a limited number of products available, and it was all scooped up by ladies who love these products. So in 2019, I started to get very enamored by them again. Now, aside from the permanent collection, the Claire, the Medium, and the Torre, speaking of which, I'd love to give a shout out to my good friend Neil, who lives in Singapore, who sent me this Torre Guerlain Meteorites over because it's not available here in the Philippines, and I would like to thank you because I have been wanting to have this in my kit for a really long time. So thank you so much, Neil, for sending this my way. So back in 2019, I started collecting some limited edition meteorites from Guerlain, and I started with this Pearl de Satin from Guerlain, and as you can see, I love the packaging. It's beautiful, and it has this nice summery paisley print, and this was released for their summer 2019, and I do love this color story. So as you can see here, there are nice like fuchsia colors with nice orangey colors and a nice yellow and a very minimal white pearl. And I like that because sometimes the white pearl can make you look ashy, and if there's too much, instead of bringing life to the skin, it makes the skin look dull. Now the reason why I picked this up is because I will not use this as a finishing powder, but I can use this as a highlight on the cheeks. So for example, so let's remove some of the product from the previous meteorite that I used this on. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to load the brush with this. And as I've said, Tanner, this is Tanner. So what I would like to do is that I would just like to enhance the blush that I have with this color. So again, if I use a too matte of a blush, this will just bring back the glow on the skin. And it still has that nice violet scent. Now for holiday 2019, I bought their Golden Land meteorites. Now I have to say that their formulation here is almost the same color story as that of their summer collection, but the main difference is that this has more bronze and golden tones into it, and the blush color here is actually deeper. So you still have that pink, that wine, that gold, and have this like nice bronze color, which I really love. And again, you can just use that to enhance and deepen your blush. Now you have to be very careful if you decide to use this as a finishing powder, because it might just be too red. Now if you came from the beach though, this would be very nice just to enhance your tan, or just to make you look fresher, because sometimes when your tan has dulled, you tend to look ashy, and if you just add a little bit of color like this, it helps your skin come back to life. One of the things that I would like to talk about is the price range of this. Yes, it seems that this can come off as being expensive. Like here in the Philippines, this can retail for 3,400 to 3,500 depending on where you bought them. But although it can be perceived to be expensive, I think that you get value for your money when you buy something like this. Because if I was going to compare the price of the Guerlain Meteorites to a different finishing powder, let's say the ambient lighting powder from Hourglass. Now, the reason why I'm comparing these two is because they almost share the same ingredients. Like they have silica, they have mica, they have synthetic fluoroflogopite, and they have diamond powder in them. So both these brands share some of those ingredients in their product. I have to say that the ambient lighting powder from Hourglass retails for 3,170 something. Now in comparison, that appears to be cheaper than the Guerlain Meteorites, even only by 300 pesos, 400 pesos. But one thing that you have to remember is that the Hourglass ambient lighting powder is only 10 grams of product, while the Guerlain Meteorites is actually 25 grams of product. And if you divide that, the price of the product to the number of grams that it carries, then I have to say that for the Hourglass ambient lighting powder, you pay around 300 pesos per gram, while for the Guerlain Meteorites, you pay around 136 peso per gram. So you actually get more value for your money with this. But then again, it's just a personal choice, and it's really up to you if you want to purchase a product which tugs at your heart and what makes you feel good. Now, as I've said earlier in the video, the Guerlain Meteorites has a shelf life of 5 years. Although it says here, when you buy it, like you can actually see the price, and then you can actually see the expiry date, things like that. But one other thing I'd like to point out is that you actually see like a batch code on each of the pans. Now here it says it's 9H03. I don't know what H03 means, but I know that 9 here stands for 2019. So this Claire Meteorites was made in 2019 and will last until 2024. But I promise you, even by 2024, I'm still gonna have a lot of pearls left in this tub because I can't finish it. So another example of a batch code. So this is the Torre powder that I got in Singapore, and it has a batch code of, what is this? 8B01. So this was made in 2018, and it has a shelf life until 2023. Now, even my Mythic Meteorites has a batch code. This was 7J04, so this was made in 2007. Because I also read in a blog somewhere that the batch code repeats every 10 years. So that's it for me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've learned something from what I showed you guys. And if you have any more questions, please leave them at the comments box below, or just send me a message and let's have a conversation about this. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I do hope that you are having a good day wherever you are. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Yes, love. Later. Come. Say hi. She wants to go down. But after we're done, Malena,